So be it, Jedi. He's no good to me dead.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
You know what's going on?
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Star Wars After Hours. We are recording this episode on May the 4th.
Yes.
Happy Star Wars Day to each and every one of you. I am Stefan Spallino.
And I am Josh Combs.
Rogelio Delgato. Just kidding.
Roger the Cat.
Roger the Cat. So, how do you want to start this one off, man? It's May the 4th. It is Star Wars Day. Why don't we start off with, what's your favorite thing about Star Wars?
Dude, we could make a whole episode on just
stuff
one.
that we like about Star Wars.
Yeah. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, okay. Maybe too broad a question.
The only thing that I like about Star Wars. No, but of course, in one word, the adventure. Two words. Adventure.
That's one word.
I said the adventure the first time.
Oh, the adventure. So that is
it's
two
a
words.
specific the adventure, not just any adventure. This adventure specifically.
Oh, this. So this adventure.
In the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
what is your favorite thing about Star Wars? Maybe I'm going to give you this. First of all, give me the one-word answer.
Okay, the one-word answer is, let's see, how do I whittle all my feelings about Star Wars into one word?
You can break it down afterwards and just...
You know what? I won't, because I have a word for you.
Give me the word.
Joy.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's only 3 letters, but wow. Joy.
Yeah, not worth much in Scrabble, but worth a lot in life.
In life, exactly. Joy and adventure. Those two go hand in hand, actually.
Yeah, especially kind of like, adventure is more...
What's an adventure if it's not joyous, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's somewhat about the process, but it's the joy after you complete that adventure, your goal. You set all these little things as you go, and you allow yourself to
have joyous experiences along the way. Along the
space whale.
Along the space whale. Yes. Happy May the 4th to all of you watching and listening on iTunes.
Yes.
Speaking of iTunes, please, for the love of the entire Jedi Council and for the love of the Force, please give us a rating and review on iTunes. That is so important on iTunes. That trumps everything. So we see our download numbers. We know people are listening. If you could just leave us a rating and review, that'll help us so much more than pretty much anything else at this point. It helps us basically get seen, so that other people can listen to us. So if you listen, that is the greatest compliment to our show at this moment.
And if you don't listen, then you won't be hearing this message whatsoever.
Yeah, but I mean, we know people listen. We can see it. So if you are listening,
if you are not listening, also give us an iTunes rating. And if you know people who aren't listening, tell everyone to just rate us and just say hey, I don't watch this show, but I'm 5 stars. I like the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but really, if you guys listen, if you love the show or like it or enjoy it or,
even if you have constructive criticism, but still want to give us 5 stars.
Exactly. Any type of comment, but with 5 stars is cool. Like, if you have something negative, still give us 5 stars.
And just write a bad review.
But write a bad review.
Yeah.
Or just like...
Because that'll help us get better, but it also won't hurt us.
Yeah, true.
So, in a way, we're both winning because our rating stays up and we can improve that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it might be something that we can't change.
Like if you don't like the shape of my nose or something like that.
Exactly.
I can't help you.
Mm-hmm. So that is not constructive criticism, but...
That's just being shallow.
But as long as there's 5 stars, do it up.
So now that we have that out of the way, Josh, the reason we're recording this late, we're recording this on May the 4th, is you went down to Disneyland, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I went down there with my girlfriend. We went down on the train. It was pretty cool. We hung out there for 3 days, and I got to check out a lot of the stuff there, especially in Tomorrowland with all of the Star Wars overlay and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll be posting a video, and I'll be putting the audio at the end of this podcast as well.
Right. So tell us about your little cab ride. Your revealing cab ride.
My revealing cab ride. Which one was this?
The one where you saw some things.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I got a little thrown off because I woke up at 5 a.m. today, got on the train. I've been on the train and got back, and we're recording. This is a good one. We've been at Disneyland for the past 3 days, and we're doing it.
Yeah, bursting at the seams to record this.
Yeah. So I saw something amazing.
What did you see?
So first of all, we had an Uber driver to take us to Disneyland, and she went a different way. Usually we get dropped off on Harbor. There's like a Uber or taxi drop off.
Right.
But she went a different way. She went around the back. But it takes you like right through the area that the Star Wars expansion is at. And I saw... the problem is that I didn't know it was coming at all.
So you didn't get to record?
I didn't get to record it. That's the one thing I'm so pissed off about. I mean, there's pictures of it, but still, like, I would love to give my vantage point of it and, like, my reaction to the situation, because I just, like...
Lost it?
So many emotions. I was like, shit, like, holy shit, like, that is an AT-AT.
So
There's 2 of them.
You saw the construction.
I saw the construction.
How big are they?
They're gigantic.
What is gigantic? Like,
okay.
Ballpark it.
Okay, so they're not life-size.
Okay.
They have to be, I don't know,
like
maybe like...
scaled down to like a half, maybe?
Probably like 2/3. They're
2/3,
huge.
so they're big.
They're big. And so this is inside the ride building. And it's a huge building. It's like, I can't even estimate the height of it, because it's kind of hard to scale it with the other things unless you see like a person standing next to it.
Right.
But like you can find some images online, and it shows like construction workers next to it and kind of shows the scale. But seeing it in person, it's like, oh my god, it's like a building.
It was finally real, huh?
It was finally real, and they're not. It's like, it's like as big as a building. Like you could live inside. I could live in one side. I mean, not
really?
An entire family, but me personally, as one person, could probably live comfortably inside of one of these ATs.
So the hole's like probably maybe the size of a motorhome then?
Mm-hmm. Probably maybe a little bit bigger than that.
Wow.
Huge.
That's awesome. I wonder if you'll be able to go up kind of like inside of them.
I have
if
a
there's
feeling...
a way to like, I don't know how they do it. They probably wouldn't put a ladder. They'd probably have to do some kind of elevator or escalator. I don't know.
Yeah. What I have a feeling that it's going to be like kind of like on the Haunted Mansion, do you remember when you go over and you see like there's like a table and there's like a people dancing at the bottom? You're like looking down from the balcony. So what I think it's going to be is that you're going to be going around the sides, like on the balcony or like a catwalk or something. And underneath you is going to be like a whole, like Imperial, or not Imperial, but First Order, like ship or base or something like that with multiple vehicles. We might see TIE fighters in that.
Okay.
And maybe some droids going around or something and different animatronics. So there could be action going on underneath you, or they could be firing up at you, and that would be really neat, because they could even use like a similar technology that they did with the Haunted Mansion, but do that with the blasters, because I mean it could look real. They got some crazy things going on though, so
that'd be way cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So
are you gonna edit in a little segment on that for the YouTube video?
Yeah,
Sweet.
I'll definitely put that in. I have some stuff that I talked, on the videos, but I'm also gonna do like a voiceovers for a few things and kind of explain what I'm looking at, explain where I'm going, because there's a lot to cover,
right?
And it's awesome, like just how Star Wars is now represented in the park is still like is really good, but like seeing in person what's going to be there, it's like whoa.
Like you way more stoked
it did. Yeah,
so that's awesome, and we're gonna have a segment on it later. So brief things of note before we get into our main topic. If you haven't seen it, there is a mashup of like Star Wars clips edited to the I think it was late 90s or early 2000s
early
hit
2000s
song. Yeah, early 2000s probably. Hit song All Star by Smash Mouth. And it is edited so perfectly to where all the characters kind of like sing the song. Jimmy Fallon, he probably had nothing to do with it. His producers probably did it, but it's amazing. And you should really check it out. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely. It's really funny. I won't play it on this right now, but because I don't want to take their views or whatever, even though they're the Jimmy Fallon show.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So the next thing, we have I am hesitant to even call this a spoiler, but maybe skip ahead a couple minutes if you don't want to hear spoilers, but
because everything that we have that are like they're spoilers, we say are spoilers, technically are rumors.
Yeah.
But a lot of them will most likely come true. And
this one I have more questions about because it came from a Reddit leaker and not making Star Wars.
So then a couple filtered through Nerdist, right?
Yeah, a couple of like sites picked this up and kind of ran with it, but it was, in my opinion, it doesn't hold much weight.
It's like not very well cited.
It's not very well sourced, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're a Star Wars podcast, so we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
So apparently, Leia and Snoke have a bit of a showdown.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there wasn't much detail given into it. The biggest thing to know is that it would be Leia as a person and Snoke as a person physically and in some sort of conflict.
Yeah. And we've heard a lot of things about Snoke. Most of the evidence that we have is pointing towards him being almost like an animatronic in some scenes.
Yeah, he's going to be like...
Is it a puppet or an animatronic?
Yeah, I mean, all the stuff that they use is kind of a mixture between it.
Yeah, puppet and
because animatronic usually implies that it's already recorded.
Okay.
And then with puppetry, you control it, like someone controls it while they're watching it. So they have someone inside of it.
Puppet, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll have someone inside of it, but they'll also have someone off to the side running, like his face,
doing all the
just
little,
his
like,
eyes,
twitching
someone runs.
muscles and his doing all kinds of.
Oh, you should see how they did all of the like Admiral Akbar and stuff like that, especially in episode 7. Like they went off on it. So
Radis. Oh wait,
no, in episode 7.
Oh, in 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was Akbar in 7?
Of course he was.
I don't remember that. When?
Dude.
So it's big.
How is it possible to power a weapon of that size?
I'm like combing through the movie in my mind.
Me too, but I'm pretty sure that there is a Mon Calamari in.
I don't think so, dude.
Not in 7 at all?
No.
The oscillator's been damaged, but is still functional.
You're probably thinking of Rogue One.
Well, yeah, I know that one was done really well, but there was another face that they did in 7.
I don't think so,
It
man.
wasn't.
There's
It wasn't Mon Calamari then.
There is one. Precinct 47.
They have defensive shields that our ships cannot penetrate.
It was. I'm not sure what species it was though. There's something that they did a really good animatronic on for 7. I don't know.
It could be a multitude of things because
They have
the Maz Kanata's castle.
Oh
scene.
yeah, all of those are crazy. Like the I don't remember the guy's name, but the big guy with the horns with the chick,
Yeah.
like that face is just yeah,
Yeah.
and the facial features. So we could see where some of that technology is going to come into Snoke, but it's kind of like I don't think we're going to see a battle. If anything, it's going to be like a forced thing.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
So it might even be just her confronting Snoke. If this even gets close to happening or anything like this, it might be her confronting Snoke or getting captured and being interrogated by Snoke and being choked or something like that. And my theory, I was in line at Thunder Mountain when I thought of this, when I heard this news. And I right away, I messaged Dale about it to see what he thought.
Yeah.
And basically, I think that Snoke is going to kill Leia in the first act. And then, because they're saying that it's supposed to, that this confrontation is supposed to happen in the first act.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, but wherever it happens, I think that her death is going to be by Snoke more likely than it would be by Kylo Ren. And then,
I don't think Kylo has it in him.
No,
to kill
definitely
Leia.
not. And I think that he has that emotion for his mother where he's not going to like that situation at all.
That's what I think too.
So he is going to rebel against Snoke. So either
Yes. What
he
episode
kicks
did we
Snoke-
do the Sorry, keep going.
No, just he kicks Snoke. Either he kicks Snoke out of the First Order or he leaves the First Order
Takes the Knights of Ren with him.
and takes the Knights of Ren with him or meets up with whoever's left, which could be Del Toro.
Benicio.
But we're not sure because we've heard different things of the casino planet.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to lead into something else. But what were you about to say?
I was gonna say, I forget which episode. We've done a couple of theory crafting episodes at this point, but we had one where we talked for half an hour about Leia's death being the catalyst for Kylo Ren's turn to the light side.
Yeah. And it seems like this is, I mean, we don't know if this is fact, obviously.
Yeah.
But
But
this makes so much more sense for that to be
if we're
not
going to
a
go down that
redemption.
path, yeah, if
I
we're going to
think-
take the redemption arc,
But I think it's not going to be a redemption. I think he's going to break off to the side, but he's still on a warpath against Luke and Rey. He wants that lightsaber. I think that's one of his biggest thing, and he thinks that if he uses that lightsaber, he can have a vision that connects him with Anakin or Vader as he sees him.
right?
So maybe he's thinking that type of thing. Maybe he's been looking for this thing the whole time. Maybe it's just the Lego movie.
Oh, God.
Dude, think about this. What if Rey found it first? She was just a regular person. Once she touched it, she became the, what is it, like the Freemaker or something? Or what was it? The Master Builder.
I didn't watch the
It was
Lego
actually
movie.
really good. It's going to be the same people who do the Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
Same directors. It's actually a really good movie.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know because I haven't seen it.
No,
I've
see it.
heard that it's good.
But it's like, because there's like a chosen one, and then there's a random person that comes up on this object and pretends to be the chosen one and gets all these powers. So what if Kylo Ren thinks he's the chosen one? He needs to get that lightsaber to see that vision or whatever. But so he's on that path still. And I think that's the only reason why he's with the First Order, is because they want to get Luke also. And they have a whole army to go after them, to go after the Resistance and go after the, the whatever New Republic and stuff like that.
Kylo seems mostly indifferent to whatever the First Order's doing.
It's like he's almost using the First Order in some way, especially... you can tell like his little thing with Hux. Like he's got a little back and forth with Hux.
Yeah, you see Hux like commanding troopers, and Kylo's always kind of, off doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm. But Hux knows that it's like Vader. He could be Vader choked right away,
Mm-hmm.
No, Alderaan, it's peaceful. We have no weapons. You
would
can't...
prefer another target, a military target, then name name it now before I go home.
Yeah, sorry about our video recording issues. Our camera went out.
Yes. And now it should be fine. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get up and you're going to see this situation. I'm going to leave this in and I'm going to double check that this video is going fine.
Do it.
Right now.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
You know what, guys? We're looking good.
Okay.
Yeah, so video went down, not sure when it was, but...
Welcome to Amateur Hour. Nah, just kidding.
Welcome to...
We're not amateurs. We're 14 episodes in.
We're just camera amateurs. That's a hard thing to say.
We're cameratures.
Cameratures?
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't sound like what we're talking about at all.
All right, let's suck the foam off this brew and
Yeah, okay, I remember exactly where we were.
Fiend.
Well,
Space Horse?
Here's the deal. We got this casino planet.
It's true, we do.
And we know that there's some sort of betting happening. And I believe we found out what they're betting on. And they are some sort of horse racing. Like a horse racing league.
Wow.
But these are not just like regular horses. These are like gigantic reptilian creatures.
Okay,
but they're fast.
I gotta say it. If you play Pokemon, it kind of looks like this Pokemon Virizion, which
I don't remember that one. I don't think I got that far.
Just the shape of the head. I'm gonna Virizion.
Yeah, so I can see it. I just wanna. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they look like Pokemon. But anyways, so we're on a betting planet with horse races. There's horse races on this planet.
Yeah. So from first of all, we've seen the production photos from Croatia, from Dubrovnik. And we've seen the little speeder cars with people in suits and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw, we're not sure if it was John Boyega or if it was a double, but they were on one of these animals, but it's like I think it's like just a static thing that they rolled through just to get some like maybe some background shots or something. They're gonna like throw in CG to make it work out. But this leads us to believe that what we've just heard from MakingStarWars.net is true, that Finn and our new character Rose, they're having some sort of like chase. So this is a chase scene, and I believe they're being chased by some sort of land speeder, but they're not in a land speeder. And I think that they've stolen one of these horses, and they will be riding through town on a giant space horse. And the name of these space horses is a Faultier.
Faultier. I like it.
It's kind of a cool name. It's not too bad. It's not Porgs.
Yeah, it's not. It's not Porgs.
As long as nothing else is like porn.
Porns.
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 Close enough. See, that's going to be a problem with little kids trying to Google Porgs.
Yeah.
Dude, that's going to be like gnarly.
They only have to mess up one letter.
They probably don't even have to. If you just press enter,
it auto-corrected to porns.
Yeah, it's just going to go.
Yikes.
So, parents, before your child... Well, my children really shouldn't be seeing... I don't care. I show my niece Rogue One. She's 3, so... She loves Darth Vader. She wanted to watch that end scene again.
So good.
And then after that, she wanted to watch it again. And I did not suggest this. She said, "Can I watch the Darth Vader again?"
So good.
Yeah. But, so, this is a really interesting space horse casino planet. Some weird, like, I don't know, it looks more like sort of like if you played Star Wars Galaxies or anything that has Corellia in it. It seems like a sort of Corellian architecture, but it seems like it's going to be more of a like the kind of like the Coruscant underworld area,
Gotcha.
like a little
kind
mixed
of that
together.
seedy feeling a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's going to be like an old, really nice city, but it's a little seedy in certain areas.
Roger that.
And it's been taken over by like this gambling circuit. So that's kind of like how, how Jabba took over cities and pretty much.
I could dig it.
The huts. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be a certain thing, and maybe the hut of this movie is Benicio del Toro. So,
Benicio.
Yeah.
Can't
not a hut.
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro is not playing a hut.
Yeah, he's not gonna be a hut.
He's gonna be a human, but he's going to be in that type of Godfather.
He's gonna
role.
have hut-like qualities.
Yeah, just like as his his whole thing like that. Also, quick thing that we heard, it's not really a big news subject, but Rian Johnson, one thing that he changed, I think, did this come from a Steel Wars podcast, something like that? He went through and did a lot of interviews at Star Wars Celebration, and a lot of that stuff got filtered through different sources.
I don't know. I don't want to discredit him.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it came from, but I read about this too. So
yeah, I don't know exactly where it started, like, completely, but anyways, Rian Johnson, he made some changes. One specific change to episode 7, which we will see what happens to it, why. And
what is that change?
Is that instead of taking BB-8 with them at the end to Octu, they brought R2-D2. And I think that there's some reason that R2-D2 needs to meet back up with Luke.
Well, isn't that just common sense? I mean, BB-8's Poe's buddy, you know, and then
Yeah.
it'd be nice to see R2 and Luke again, right? So
it makes more sense because it's like, who's Poe gonna fly with? Because there's no
right.
BB
They
units.
just got back together again. Why would
Yeah.
Poe?
And his ship is made for like a BB unit, basically.
It makes more sense that way. I don't know why
JJ would have done that.
Why JJ would have done it differently, but
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
You know,
kind of weird, but whatever. It's happening, and that's gonna mean something. I was kind of thinking a little bit that it was more like, he's got a lot on his memory banks, and he's never been wiped before.
R2,
and if Obi-Wan and Yoda could have watched what Anakin did at the Jedi Academy, then wouldn't you think that with the capabilities of R2-D2, he could show back surveillance footage through holograms?
He could probably do many things.
So he can go back and find, maybe have teachings from different things and be able to, because we don't know what he's witnessed while Luke was training other Jedi.
Right.
So what if R2-D2 trains Rey by using a hologram of Luke, and then he finally comes back and he's like, all right, I'll finish the training.
So what you're saying is R2-D2 is Snoke.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
No, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah.
No, yeah, I think that R2-D2 definitely has some vital information, if not an emotional tie to this whole situation with Luke. But I also think it might have to do with the passing of Kenny Baker, and that was last year. So maybe they wanted to give, I don't know, but that was after, was it after episode 7?
Actually, I feel like it was pretty recently.
Yeah, let me look it up, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Okay, yeah, it was 2016. August 13th, 2016. So that's a little late to make that decision, because that's after it was out. Much far after it was out. But so that means that it's not a tribute. It is something story driven. So we'll see what happens. But what do we got, Stefan?
Well, let's play some transition music and just go straight into our main topic for the day. So we're transitioning now. We're going to play some Star Wars music. I'm not sure what Josh will want to...
I'll put something on the screen, and then probably just like Cantina music or something cool like that. Or I'll just leave this exactly how it is. So we're talking about the transition and using that as a transition to get into our next subject,
which is our main subject for the day.
Yes.
Which is the next animated series.
Yes. So we've already had confirmation that there is a new animated series already in the works. Dave Filoni is in it. He's in it to win it. He has done amazing with Rebels. Rebels is ending very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So we have no idea where this next series is going to take place in the timeline, and we're not even sure who's going to be in it or if they're going to all be new characters or what's going to happen. But we have our own ideas.
I have a bit of a sizzler to start us off.
Okay, start us off with
I have a bit of a
sizzle.
I have a bit of a hot take. Okay.
Give me all of your hot takes right now.
Some people might not like this, but you have to hear me out and understand what I'm saying. Okay? I love the original trilogy. I love it. It's the best thing ever that ever happened in the universe, especially in the Star Wars universe.
What about like the whole like humans thing?
Like
I think that's the best thing that's
human
ever.
history.
I think that's of being humans being existent. I think might be more important of a thing in the universe than Star Wars being made. So I'm saying that Star Wars is the second most important thing in the universe.
So the original trilogy, like, we put it up on our pedestal, right? And we stroke it and we like look at it fondly and remember all the great times when we were kids and how much we love it, right? And we all love the original trilogy, and nobody's saying we don't love the original trilogy. What I'm here to say is that at this point, I feel a little oversaturated on that time period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have the Star Wars universe is so expansive and there's so much going on. I've heard pretty much every story that I want to hear that's within, that 30-year time period.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to push the franchise forward, we have to go somewhere else. Like, and the reason I'm saying this is because there's just been these series of things, and I'm just, like I said, I love the original trilogy, but I'm feeling a little burnt out on it at the moment. Like, it started with Battlefront. Battlefront was all the original trilogy, and then we had Rebels, and then we had Rogue One, and now we know we're getting a Han Solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's so many chain events.
Yeah,
that lead back to the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Disney knows that we love the original trilogy, right?
And they want to fill in the gaps for people, and the people working on the movies want to fill the gaps from their own fandom. But that's not necessarily what is going to be profitable or artistically valid as far as the evolution of Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got Rogue One. Rogue One was amazing. And I mean, I personally I'm going to love it and I'm going to see it a million times, but I could do without the concept of a Han Solo movie. Like, if you told me we weren't going to get that and we were going to get something else, I'd probably be okay with it, And that's just another callback of us going, there's this 30-year period and we have so much information on it. We've spent so much time on it that I feel like we don't need to go there again. So I'm really hoping that, on this next cycle of content, that we don't revisit that time period.
Or at least in a way that has been covered before.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be way out there.
Yeah, if they go back there, I feel like it has to be something crazy. But that was just my brief little hot take on the state of the galaxy, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So did you have some ideas for a new?
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea.
So why don't you start us off? I led with my hot take, what I don't want to see. So why don't you give us our first idea?
So I'm going to start out telling you that it does take place within that 30 years.
You bastard, of course it does.
But it starts out from the Imperial side.
Okay.
But not just from the Imperial side. from the common people who have no idea what they're doing when they join the Empire as kids. So this one is called The Academy, a Star Wars story. So a group of young boys join the Imperial Academy in hopes to become pilots, because in the original Star Wars Episode 4, Luke wants to join the Academy.
The Imperial Academy.
The Imperial Academy, to learn how to be a pilot. And it doesn't make any sense later, but they have no idea, unless stormtroopers have come to there and done something like against them. They've just heard like propaganda, and like you can see that in some of the books and the comic books as well, how much Imperial propaganda there was in the rise of the Empire, and how it took over everyone in, like, you know, people in far out planets. They just wanted to fly.
They wanted to get off their far off planets.
Exactly.
Like Lucas.
Yeah. And so they need a way out. And the easiest way out is to learn to be a pilot from the Academy. So each of them kind of have their own motives going in. And, but those kind of will change throughout the series as they learn, you know, the actual practices of the Empire. So we'll see it from a point where they're just training, but we'll cut back and see like, see like different people, I guess higher ups, not people we've seen. No Grand Moff Tarkin, no any of those, no main original characters.
Okay.
No Callus, no any of those people, because this is taking place on a brand new planet. I have not named it, but I think that this should be a whole kind of different story that kind of takes a different turn. So some of them plan to actually graduate into the Imperial Navy, where they can become like TIE pilots.
Right.
Some of them just want to learn how to fly to get out of there. And they end up trying to get out after they find out that the Empire is evil. But not all of them. What was your question? I saw your mouth open.
I was going to say, I'm guessing that when they decide to get out, they don't find it so easy to get out.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that it would take an entire season for them to work out how they're going to get out, but also go through, you know, their personal trials and get more into the emotion of characters on both ends. Like, I like how they do that. They're doing that with the second Battlefront, well, the fourth Battlefront. And it's telling it from the Imperial side. But this is going to be an interesting thing, because they're going to break off. But once they break off, we're not going to follow the Imperials. We're not going to follow the Rebels. We're going to follow this one character. And basically, I'll go back. So we have two of them that go back, join the rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have one of them that goes off to be an Imperial pilot, TIE pilot. And then one of them is killed during training.
Oh.
And this person is killed by another guy. I haven't named them. I didn't think it was important. I gave them A, B, C, D, E. So E is his name. So E accidentally killed his best friend in the Imperial Academy. And this will happen in like the end of season 2. And so this will force him to not only break off from the Empire, but break off from his friends altogether. But within the time of trying to break out, he's learned all these skills, how to reprogram droids, how to build things. Like he went in through like engineering and stuff like that. He was interested in that type of stuff. But so now he's kind of out on his own, and he decides that instead of flying for the Empire, instead of rebelling, he is going to fly for whoever pays the most. And another interesting thing about this man, or this boy, is that he's force sensitive. So we have this really conflicted force sensitive pilot who becomes like an assassin pilot. So, you know, like in Coruscant, how they have the small ships,
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes.
So basically he would go between planets and then use a small ship, and like if there's like a building with like a government building or something, or where they know someone lives, like he'll just go through and like set a little bomb off to go just right in their bedroom or something, and then just take people out, and he gets paid for that. I don't know. It's going to be hard to show some stuff like that on animated series for children, but this is my cool idea. But anyways, he has a droid that is like his bodyguard, because, you know, he's got to get out of his thing, you know, out of his whatever he flies. Not sure what he's flying, but this kid's like still like in his teens. So it's kind of like how we saw Boba Fett in Clone Wars. So it's around that time, like that situation. But this, you know, this guy's, he's more conflicted, and you kind of see his whole story, and he's got you know, stolen parts that he builds this crazy astromech that have you seen it's the R1 astromech?
I have.
Okay, it's big, it's bulky, and it's like kind of dumb because it's like the original model, but it was like stuffed in it's like a different droid body. So most of the people know this, but he took out everything on the insides and made like a sick ass, like not a battle droid, but like a really, like basically
an assassin droid, and like an undercover assassin droid.
Yeah, he's a bodyguard. He's his bodyguard.
Gotcha.
So
he looks like a goofy droid, but on the inside, pew pew.
Yeah. So basically, his head detaches also and becomes a probe droid. So on Star Tours,
that's cool.
On Star Tours at Disneyland, they have this droid that they invented for it. That's like a, it's like a droid that floats around that has a camera on it. It's kind of like Darth Maul's, but a little bit different. So it'd be that type of like seeker probe droid that it could just pop off and go around and look around corners and stuff, and they can go back. And then my other ideas were contains rocket boosters, communication jammers, a personal shield generator, stun blaster, and an advanced hyperspace computer.
That sounds like a droid that I want to be best friends with.
Yeah. So this kid knows how to do this. He knows, he stole this droid also. He steals everything. He's this type of person. And later on, he meets a young Cassian Andor. So this is the one thing that I'm going to throw in there that is going to be kind of like, you know, at the Rebels at the end, you kind of get, I mean, throughout you get some characters, but
right,
this is going to be the one kind of like the Mon Mothma of the series, where she shows up like right at the end almost, is that he's going to meet up with Cassian Andor, and he's gonna be in some situation where he teaches him how to reprogram droids. And then Cassian has to reprogram a droid in a situation to try to save the other dude. E dies. And then it ends with Cassian reprogramming K2.
That would be cool. And I could picture them doing something like that.
And just imagine the last frame would just be Cassian and K2 just standing there with like maybe a sunset in the background. Last scene of the entire series. So it takes place in that period, but you're not in the battle as much. You are like influenced by the battle.
Learning about the propaganda and kind of like the other side of the whole thing, which is really cool because that's the side we don't see. You know? Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's the only way that I would be cool with them going back to original trilogy with animated series. I think is if they tell it from a different side.
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, I just can't see them filling any more other stuff in there. Like, I don't want to see in an animated series what happens between between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I don't care to see that. I read it in a comic book, a book, whatever. But I want to see something cool. I want to see some new characters, like how they did with Rebels to start out with, and then bring back, at least Cassian and K2 at like the very end.
Yeah. No, that'd be way cool. I'd be down with that.
So I think that, yeah. And then just, I like droids, but I don't like how they're portrayed in Rebels as much. Especially like in the droid only ones, it's kind of like they're a little too like snarky. Some of them are too stupid. But I want this guy to be like a badass bodyguard droid.
No, yeah, that'd be way cool.
And he also will be using like Imperial tech. So he has that that like low Imperial like code voice, but he can also use different droid noises. So like how the Death Troopers talk, like that like Imperial code,
the scramble, yeah.
Yeah. So they could speak that and understand it. So because he could just steal the stuff and mix in Imperial droid stuff, and that's basically I would like to see something more creative in that sense. I liked how they did this with Sabine, how she would paint things and it shows like the whole Rebel logo and how that kind of the evolution of that. So yeah, I think that wraps that up. Kind of, I would just like to see
that little arc. So you had a whole like arc for us, a little series almost.
Yeah, because I came up on this just little idea, and then I was like, this would be cool. Oh, it'd be cool to add this. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna write it all out, and like do that. And yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting you to have a long single series or anything like that, but it's just what I did. So.
No, it's good. I like it. Yeah. I mean, if we have to go back to that time period, I'd like to see it from another side, and I'd like to see some of our Rogue One characters again
on a different planet too.
Yeah,
on just somewhere else that's really weird.
Yeah,
I don't know, something cool.
No, definitely, I'm into that.
Maybe maybe like some of it would be like a subterranean planet where they're like not mole people, but people who live underground.
Mole people.
It's like an underground society. People. No, real mole people.
No, seriously, mole people. I like that idea.
They're not named porgs. What did they call them?
Morgs.
Morgs. That's like more death things. Let's see.
There's actually a pod racer that kind of looks like a mole. His name's Dudbolt. See if I can find a picture of him later and show you.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Deadbolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know his face, but I don't know. I didn't know that was his name.
His pod racer kind of looks like a like hair buzzer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was a great game, and that was a great part of that movie.
We tend to reference that game a lot, or
Star
at
Wars
least I
Pod Racer,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I think
Yeah.
I think I have that in my room right now.
N64. Beautiful.
And Rogue Squadron and
Rogue Squadron was a good game.
oh, I love it. Tough game. Okay, let's hear your animated stuff.
Okay.
Your ideas.
I have 2 ideas, and they'll be quick. One, since Disney basically trashed our whole canon as far as we know it.
Well, they're trying to rebuild it in some places. Like you have Timothy Zahn rewriting Thrawn and making it canon.
Yeah.
So I think that it's gonna continue to mix, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, like, we have a clean slate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know, it could go any which way. And I wanted to talk about KOTOR because that's one of my favorite periods ever.
Oh man.
But I don't want that to be an animated series. I want Christopher Nolan to direct a trilogy of KOTOR movies.
Or just
So that's not my animated series.
Just Revan. That would be
Yeah.
sick. Like just a trilogy like that. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So I'd like to see that period, but for an animated series, why not just go even further back and give us, the original Sith and the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Why not show us, the birth of the Order? Why not show us some ancient, secrets of the Force and how people found out about the Force, how to manipulate it? And maybe you could see, this, society discovering how to use the Force, and then it fractions. And one side, they start using it for selfish reasons or whatever, and they become the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side, becomes the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And if they even keep that term, Jedi, that's probably not what they'll do, but
You never know. They might do something, but they're definitely not doing the double vowel clone.
yeah.
Ook.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be cool, because we're kind of at this point where we get dropped into the universe, in the prequel area, because that's where canon starts. As far as I know, there's probably some books that go a little further back, but
I heard something that the Old Republic, not Knights of the Old Republic, but the Old Republic, the
online,
the online
game.
the MMO, that is going to be canon, but I don't know how. There's some stuff in there that I don't think would work, but we'll see.
I think Disney has plans.
They definitely have. They have plans for, so far in advance. It's crazy.
Right, but
go on.
But so we have this 70-year period that we know a ton about. But this is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. A long time ago, So we have tons of history. Yoda was 900 years old. Why not show us, what happened 900 years ago? Why not show us the rise of the Order?
Let's see Yoda's master.
Yeah, take us way back, right a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first pitch. And we could see all kinds of cool stuff. We could see, people discovering different force powers,
That'd be cool.
building the first lightsabers.
Oh, dealing with the situations with proto sabers.
Yeah, proto sabers.
They just the battery dies.
Yeah,
and you're
the battery
screwed, so you have to just run off or something like that.
Exactly.
They have to figure out how to do force powers to get away. That'd be cool. That there's no one to teach them. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, show us what the Battle of Good and Evil looked like before stormtroopers and, scrappy rebels.
Mm-hmm.
What did that look like back then? There's this whole like well of things that we could pull from, and so much that they could do, and I just want more than, the 70-year period that we're stuck in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm asking for. But I think it would also be cool if we went, and I don't think they'll do this because I think maybe we'll get some of this explained in the movies that are coming, but why not start, after a couple years after Return of the Jedi, where Luke is still a Jedi Knight and they're still pushing back what's left of the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And we could see the Empire, fleeing into deep space. We could get a couple episodes from the side of the Empire, like Operation Cinder,
mm-hmm.
where Palpatine, he's dead, but he, programmed I don't know if it's a droid or something. It kind of looks like a droid. Anyways, he found out a way to make the Empire survive, and
mm-hmm.
you could have the Empire following his orders. And then, in the next season, you could get the start of the Empire all left. They fled to deep space, and Luke starts up his academy.
So that series could also be called The Academy, a Star Wars story.
Yeah, yeah, and we could see the beginning of little Kylo, and we could see Leia and Han and that whole thing. And there's a ton there that they could do. Luke and little Ben could go on some adventures.
That'd be interesting.
It'd be way cool,
mm-hmm.
There's a ton they could do there. But I don't think that's something they would do, because I think we'll get a little bit of backstory in the movies.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're gonna get a lot in 8, but I would love to see. Too. I would love to be able to see that. Like, I think that the hard thing would be just getting the animation right for those characters that we know so well.
Right.
But so it would be a risk, but that'd be an amazing story to see happen, see unfold, like mission to mission almost. You see, like, Luke is like, Ben, you're coming with me on this one. We have to go out here and deliver this thing, and I want you to meet this person. Because he had to be bringing him up in a way that he would be like taking his place later on.
Right.
Him not having a child, that being his, being his, whatever.
And maybe the series ends with the first time Ben meets Snoke.
True.
The very first encounter.
The word I was looking for was nephew. Because Luke doesn't have a child, but he has a nephew. So he's trying to set up his nephew.
Yeah.
To be at that level, and then introduce Snoke at some point. So,
yeah, but I just have that be like the very end.
Maybe even like the very end, like you just see like the silhouette of him like sitting at a thing, and you see like Ben like just like kneel to him, that would be interesting. Like the last
or
one.
Even I don't even know if we'd even have to go that far. We'd see Ben kind of start to get pissed off at Luke towards the end of the series, and he's having this internal conflict, and then like the very last minute of the very last episode, Snoke gets in contact with him.
I wonder, it'd be kind of cool to hear hear Snoke's voice, like coming from through the Force to Kylo, who would become Kylo Ren, to kind of like call him out and say, I have what you need to become powerful and take over the Jedi.
Right.
But I need you to take care of the Jedi first, and then I'll show you what happens.
Right.
So that's why he gets the Knights of Ren together. That's why he needs to take out Luke. And he's being lied to because Snoke doesn't even know. He doesn't even know.
Doesn't even know. And maybe we see some of the Knights of Ren or like Kylo's homies at the Academy.
True.
Namse.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the opposite of my idea.
Yeah.
Almost.
Did you have another one?
Actually, that's my only idea.
That was your only one?
That's the one that I really built upon. I had some other little ideas. I mean, of course, I think one thing that I would really like to see, I don't know if they're going to do it, but bounty hunters.
Yeah.
I want to see Cad Bane. I want to see some like Western type thing. And I want to see IG-88. Like, come on, man. Just like at least one episode where like someone's fighting IG-88 to see how he actually moves.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we saw the assassin droids in Clone Wars, but not the same exact, IG-88 himself.
Right.
Because he has better stats. Like he knows a better way to fight. But, and then you have Bosk and I would really love to see Greedo. Because I was talking to Patrick.
Patrick?
Yeah. Because he met up with me at Disneyland, and we were talking about just like characters, and I figured out that Greedo is one of my favorite characters, and I just think that there's so much to expand on him and just the Rhodian race altogether, like in all Star Wars games, like the MMOs, like Galaxies, all of my characters were Rhodians.
Really?
Yeah, because I just they had certain like skill perks and stuff like that.
They're sneaky.
Yeah, so I would love to see like him like Greedo sneaking around and like just stealing stuff or like doing jobs for like seeing like the inside like mob workings, like the same thing we were talking about. Different. What episode was that?
I don't know.
We were talking about how
a couple episodes ago, maybe 2 episodes.
He was like
ago.
Guido. That whole thing.
Guido. Maybe 11.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna say yeah, even though I don't know the number. But yeah, I would like to see more of that. I guess more of a Godfather-esque, like where there's a crime lord.
Yeah, we did do an episode about this.
That they worked through. Yeah, so I would like to see that in an animated series. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Star Wars smugglers, that would be a cool one, because it would be less like bounty hunters is kind of gnarly because they're just killing people all the time.
Yeah.
But if it's like them like taking things places and then they have to fight both sides, so they have to take on stormtroopers, but sometimes they have to take on like the good guys, like in Star Wars Galaxies again, they had like the Corsec, which are like the police force for Corellia.
Right.
And so they're separate, from anything else. And I think we're going to see that in episode 8 as well. Because we saw some people dressed similar to like cops. So
I'd just like to know more about Rhodians in general because they're ugly. Why do they look like that?
Yeah.
They're like fly people.
They're like fly frogs. Frog flies?
They're flogs.
They're flogs. They're not porgs, but
they're flogs. Flyogs.
Yes. But yeah, Greedo. I mean, there's so many ways that we can go with an animated series, but I think that is that's one possibility.
Those are the couple ways that we'd like to see it go. What you guys can do is you can comment on the YouTube video and name things that you would like to see.
Yeah, definitely, because we value what everyone else wants to see. And maybe if yours is really cool, we'll give it a little excerpt on the next show. Because, there's a lot of people and a lot of Star Wars fans with really good ideas. Because there's so much to work with. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, if you have a cool idea, you can comment on our YouTube videos, or you can slide into our DMs on Instagram.
Slide right in.
And me or Josh will personally answer your DMs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a question, we can even talk about it on the episode.
That's right.
You can also tweet us on our Twitter.
Yeah.
You can Twitter twat or tweeter twatter.
All of that.
Yes.
Maybe not the last one, but the rest of them, yes.
Yes. Do you like Star Wars?
Do I like Star Wars?
If you're listening to this podcast,
well, I think that everyone.
I bet you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think like everyone maybe that listens to this like podcast maybe likes Star Wars.
So if you like Star Wars, what Star Wars fan wouldn't want a 375 scale Walmart exclusive Black Series ATST?
Right.
You know how you can get one? You can go to our Indiegogo and you can donate $1 to our cause, and you can be entered in a raffle.
It takes a single dollar. I know you have it, and I know you want it. The ATST. You want the ATST.
All it takes is $1.
Yeah, and that helps us out. We're trying to, we've had some issues, some audio and visual issues throughout the whole show. We're at episode 14. It's a little milestone for us, but it's it's a long ways from perfect. We got a lot of time to go to get it figured out, but the first thing that it takes for us to do that is to actually get the correct equipment to be able to do this. So, anything that you donate and your entries all go toward getting, new lighting, getting a camera and some software stuff. And that's basically what we need to keep this thing going and make it really good for you. So it'll look good and feel good.
Yes. If you like reading books but don't have the time to read books, you can listen to books on audibletrial.com / Star Wars After Hours. You can get basically a free trial period.
30 days.
Which you can use to download Star Wars books like Thrawn that just came out very recently.
Thrawn by Zahn. You got Ahsoka that's actually read by Ashley Eckstein herself, which is pretty cool.
Amazing. And that's a cool way to support the podcast. Josh, why don't you tell us about my comic shop?
You can find anything comic book related at mycomicshop.com. It's like almost like the Amazon of comics, but you don't just get the new ones. You can get the old ones. You can find stuff all the way back to like the 40s, the 50s. You can find all the Star Wars stuff from the 80s and the 90s, all the crazy crossover things. It's not just Star Wars, of course, Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, all the different stuff. And not only that, you can get collectibles there as well. So there's like a bunch of signed prints, like Ralph McQuarrie prints. There's just other pictures, like I think there's a Carrie Fisher one, and they're you can buy them on mycomicshop.com. And the way that you help us out doesn't cost you any extra. What you do is you go to our website, StarWarsAfterHours.com. You scroll down to mycomicshop.com banner, click on that, create an account, and when you purchase a comic book or collectible or whatever, that first one will give us a little credit just for referring you. And all the new comics are on there too. You can find all the cover variants.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, the new Darth Maul's out there. They just released the part 3, part 4 is coming, and you can find all of the Star Wars. Many of all of the Star Wars. And did we say audible.com/Star Wars After Hours?
Yeah, we did. And we talked about Thrawn by Zahn.
Yeah. Well, I know we talked about it. I just didn't know if we did the URL. But I'm just going to remind everyone of all of these URLs. These URLs. All of these URLs you need to know. StarWarsAfterHours.com. StarWarsAfterHours.com. And StarWarsAfterHours.com. Because if you go there, you can find all of the links to everything that we talk about. And mycomicshop.com. And that is where you can find the ATST giveaway. So just go mycomicshop.com. Go to StarWarsAfterHours.com. Scroll down to the ATST. Click that. It'll bring you to the Indiegogo. And donate $1. That gives you an entry. And win it.
Win it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Star Wars After Hours. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
No, you're not supposed to say yeah.
I'm supposed to
and
say.
also with you.
And also with you is.
May the 4th be with you.
No, that's that.
And also with you. Say
no,
it.
It's always with. Also with you is Catholic.
Yeah. Okay. May the 4th be with you.
Always.
So be
Thank you guys.
Jedi. He's no good to me dead.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
You know what's going on?